Hey guys, welcome to a Fire Emblem Streetpass guide with your host, Bobo Smith 101. Now, before we get started, I should immediately tell you that this guide was a big help thanks to by X4 Games. I know I botched that sentence, but this is like my 10th take, so I'm not going to go anymore. Alright, now about the Streetpass guide. This Streetpass guide is going to tell you a good skill selection for each character. I'm not sure if I'm going to cover the kids or not, but we'll see. We're also going to tell, for all the first generation parents, we're also going to talk about what good pairings are for them for Streetpass. So the kids can get good skills and things. But right now, we're just going to focus on today's main character, Gaius. Being a thief, Gaius' modifiers are more going to be stacked into skill and speed. What are modifiers, you ask? They modify your max stats. Take the class's max stats, and then add that character's modifiers to it, and those are your character's max stats for that class. Gaius' modifiers are +1 strength, -1 magic, +2 skill, +2 speed, -2 luck, and -1 defense. This means Gaius is going to want to be in a skill speedy class, you know? Luckily, his reclasses enable just that. Now, let's get into pairings quickly, since it's not going to be a big section. You want to have a similar max stat modifiers with them. Don't clearly subtract with them. For example, a knight with the Pegasus Knight, it definitely wouldn't make the best use of their modifiers. The main attraction of the kids, though, are their skills. Alright, now let's get into Gaius' support options. Well, as in, what's best. Cordelia is a great one because they have the exact same identical positive modifiers, which is going to be great for capitalizing their kids' maximum stats. Sumi is great because it's one of the few pairings for her. She only gets 4, and it capitalizes on the skill and speed that they both have. Pan and Sully is good because it maximizes on their speed. I mentioned now, everyone's saying, oh, what about Nartharja? I meant Naui Artharja. This is because Gale Force isn't too great for Streetpass battles. If you're the AI, that is. Gale Force, I mean, if they're playing on Classic, Gale Force is absolutely useless unless they don't reset, and Casual is only mediocre of a skill. So I'd mention Sully only of modifiers. Now, before we go on to the class, quote-unquote, path, I just want to make something clear. There isn't really a class path. I'm just following what skills he needs for Streetpass, and then you can go into whatever you want to grab that last skill or whatever. Plus, you want to max those stats out anyways, except for maybe magic. So, it's up to you, really, if you don't want to max up the stats or not, but you probably want to give him as many skills as you want or need. But just follow this class path and you'll be pretty well okay for Streetpass for this character. Now, we want to get into Gaius' skill options. But to know his skills, we're going to have to know his reclasses. His reclasses are Myrmidon and Fighter, which are definitely interesting. Now, you definitely want to follow this class route, which, surprisingly, is X4's class route. Thief, Myrmidon, Assassin, Warrior, Hero. This is because you want, since he already starts in Thief, then you want Vantage, which comes from Myrmidon, Lethality, which comes from Assassin, Counter, which comes from Warrior, and Soul, which comes from Hero. Myrmidon learns Vantage at level 10, Assassin learns Lethality at level 5, Warrior learns Counter at level 15, and Hero learns Soul at level 5. Vantage is a given. It's one of the best skills for Streetpass. I'm going to get into Lethality later. Warrior is, well, Warrior gets Counter, and Counter will definitely help. Counter will definitely help. He has low defenses anyway, so, hey, if anyone attacks him up close, damage goes back on them. Counter is just one of the most amazing skills. Now, Soul is also also a genius skill. Now, here's why you want to, Lethality and not Astra. This is because Lethality, you know, it has a low activation rate skill. And Soul has actually a good activation rate skill. So if he's low on HP, Vantage will activate, and you can activate Soul, which regains his HP, or Lethality, which means, boom, the problem's done, and he won't have to worry about dying. Now, he needs one more skill. You can reclass him into a Swordmaster at level 15 he'll learn Swordfare, which is going to be great, especially if you keep him in Swordmaster. Avoid Blood's 10 comes from Myrmidon. It's going to help him dodge more. You could also give him Resistance plus 10, which comes from a DLC class Dreadfighter, or Limit Breaker, which is pretty much you can attach that to any character and it will work, which is also another DLC skill. Now, Gaius' final class, it should be Hero. Reason for that speaking, he can't get Sword Breaker or Lance Breaker, so the point of going as Swordmaster would just mean less weapon variety. His max stat modifiers look more like a Hero's anyway. So, I hope the Streetpass guide helped, and I know it's really choppy and bad, but I had to get it done eventually. This was also to the help of X4Games, and being a big inspiration, and thank you.